Alrighty then. So, another day, another seeking a dollar, right? Now, here's what we're talking about there. Now, a girl was at a baseball park. A player hit the ball and it fouled and hit her in the head and caused the skull fracture, idiot! Now, was it the intention of the baseball player to hit the ball and it hit the girl and fracture her head? No. But if you're in the stadium, right, and you're a fan, right, that could happen. Why? You can hit the ball in any direction. It's called chance. Now, when I'm walking into the store and it's raining, I'm not trying to slip and fall. I'm trying to walk as carefully as possible. But if I suddenly do, right? And I'm in the parking lot going into the store to complete a transaction, right? Okay, who's responsible then, right? If the parents sued the baseball park or the team, right, or the player even, right, why can they do that? He set the ball and it went in her direction and hit her, right, and fractured her skull. Now, you're saying, all I did was cut my leg. Okay, on what? Asphalt? That's a minor thing, right? No, they didn't say nothing happened. What they mean is they cannot determine at this time anything damaged, right? Except for the obvious bleeding coming out my leg. And that it's cut deep, right? And I needed bandages, not a band-aid. I mean, you had to wrap it a little bit, right? To cover it up. Now, it should be on YouTube because it happened and I put it up as it was happening. I also showed you how long it took to heal, right? That should all be on YouTube because I recorded it as it happened, as a real life event. Also, as it healed. Also, okay, I showed you I was getting better from the previous wreck too, right? Before it happened, right? I'm again trying to walk 20 minutes or more a day. Now I'm down to 5, right? I'm having problems walking 5, right? Now, if before that I'm getting better, right? And then I have that slip and fall, right? Okay, that adds to my problem, not makes it less again, right? I go back to being injured, right? Even if I'm not being injured, right? Until it happened and getting better, if I suddenly regress, right? Which means it gets worse. What caused it? The last accident or the previous two? Last accident. The last accident, right, caused new damage, right? But I can still recuperate from it through what? Rehabilitation. Rehabilitation, right? But guess what? This is a store. This is a parking lot it happened in, and you're trying to split hairs like each section of the parking lot does not lead to one particular store or the other either. Well, guess what? It does. It does. If you're in the parking lot in front of the Publix, who owns that section of the parking lot? Publix? Publix. If you're in front of the one that belongs to Marco's Pizza, right? Or Hanami's, whatever it's called. Who owns that section of the parking lot? Them. That's their section to go to their store. Now, can you also go to Hanami's from Publix? Yes. You can also go to Marco's Pizza. But then if you get injured, you're going to be injured on the sidewalk as you're walking towards either store, right? Now, are you saying just because someone else built the parking lot that the parking lot is not so you can go to the public store? Does that make sense either? No, no. I was injured. I was re-injured and I was getting better. I cleared the physical therapy part too, and I was walking more, right? I was getting stronger again. Then I had the slip and fall there and I regressed, right? See, that's how it really works in the real world. If you're trying to get better, then something else happens, right? You're adding to my injury where I was getting better from the previous wreck, right? And progressing in my recovery, right? And then when I slipped and fell into Publix, right, it got worse suddenly and I was having more problems walking again, right? And I was having more lower back pain, right? And I was still having to go out to even the massage parlor because guess who has to pay for it until I can get a settlement for it? Me. Now, and I can get a massage for 30 minutes for $30 to $32, whatever, plus tip, right? And then, or an hour for $60, right? Well, guess what it costs to go to the chiropractor? Over $100, probably, right? Right. To do the pool treatment, right, or the water therapy, that's over $107, right? Per day. And either I gotta pay that, right, up front. They won't front you it, right? I guess that's what they're saying. Again, they're right. They won't front you the money. You gotta pay for it as you go, right? I don't know. Per day. Well, we don't have the money yet. See, that would be part of paying off them as part of the settlement under the medical part of the suit, right? Now, the money goes to three places usually: the lawyers, the physical therapy group, and me. Now, now generally though, if they put $17,000 into it, the lawyers get 17, I get 17, and they get 17, right? Right. That's just rounding it off to an even number, or 18,000, right? Or even no more than 20, say, if you want to round it up to that high, right? Anyway, that would be 60,000 as the payoff, right? Which the most you can get is 100,000, right? Whatever plan you got, right? There's so much you can get, right? Now that's because of the pain and suffering and me having to go through the physical therapy and going through it to get better and getting better, right? See, it's also to see if I get better and can improve from what happened there or not, which I did, which you did. And then I slipped and fell in September, right? When it started raining suddenly, and again, like with the baseball, no one expected me to slip and fall, right? I didn't plan on it. I didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. And that's why they have insurance to cover that, right? Now, if I take them the small claims, the most I can get anyway is 15,000, right? Now, yeah, guess what, right? I can't show, right, without the understanding that I would have to do the same thing, right? But I can show what I had to do to recover from the car wreck, right? And use that to say, well, would have to do the same thing to recover from this accident, right? Go to the therapy and should get at least 17,000 for that too, right? So that's why I'll sue them for 15, right? Now, even if I get lower, like say they offer me 5 and a NDA, right? Which means I'll stop talking about it because I've been talking about it since it happened, like with the other accident. But that's what it means. I know what it means. I did not plan to injure myself intentionally, right? But I was walking through what might be a possible, if you do it right, a slip and fall situation, right? And I was trying not to slip and fall when I slip and fell, right? Mm-hmm. That's the whole point, retard, right? And that's not all that happened, right? I regressed from what I was improving to where I started having more lower back pain suddenly again, right? Because I'm having to catch at least all my body weight on my hands and knees, right? Again, right? And I do know falling techniques from my martial arts training to try and minimize me getting hurt. But that don't always work 100% perfectly either. You can still hurt yourself a little bit, right? And if you have a previous injury, I'm not saying that's not part of it either, but if I'm recovering from one accident to another accident to another accident, I'm still recovering. Hello? But humanly too, right? See, I'm still a man who was walking into the store and started raining, and then suddenly his flip-flop slipped out from under him. Which doesn't always happen, even when it's raining and I wear the flip-flops. It don't always happen. Just that one part of the road suddenly became slippery, and I'm down, right? I didn't plan on it. I didn't want it to happen, nor did they, right? But since it's on their property line, it's on their property, I'm going into their store. Guess who's responsible? They are. They are. Mm-hmm. They also didn't put out his wet signs, right? That's something you got to do too, right? Even in the store, there weren't no wet signs up, right? You got to do that when it starts raining, right? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's part of it too, right? Slippery with wet signs. If you put them up and I slip and fall, right? That's one way to maybe get out of it. I know it is. And it's the only way to get out of it. But guess what? They didn't do that. They didn't do that. As soon as it starts raining, the bus boys, the bag boys, are supposed to get out the slippery and wet signs. That's part of their job. I know it is. And they didn't do that. Right. So when I slip and fail, right, there was nothing telling me, okay, that suddenly that would happen. And when it did happen, I wasn't prepared for it either way. And I had to deal with it as fast and quickly as I can, hoping I wouldn't even be injured, but I was re-injured, right? That's the point. I can also show improvement from one accident to the other. And how it regressed as well with each accident. I know that. See, that's the point. That gives me the win automatically. Yes, it does. In a civil trial, which requires less burden of proof than a criminal trial. Because you could also be falsely accused, like they're trying to make up something happened with me and my stepdaughter. But I'm like, guess what? So can I. I can make something up happen too, but I can make it not criminal. Reason is, she's my stepdaughter. I can give her a bath. I can undress her. I can dress her, right? For school in the morning even, right? I can help her go pee or not, right? There's certain legal things I can do that ain't your goddamn business if I do it or not. But if you were to see it, you might would think it's something sexual if you're sexually minded. Meaning, that's all you think about is someone illegally touching a girl when they're not trying to do that. Like I told you about waking up with her in there with you. You're dealing with it as a child waking you up and you don't know why. Now, two of the things, usually, you don't have to ask the child. One of them is if they want something to drink or eat. They'll tell you maybe exactly what they want. Ever heard of that before? I know. Another reason is to help her go potty, right? If she's unfamiliar with the bathroom. Now, if I'm in the living room, I'm going to just take off her underwear so she can walk freely, and when she comes back, I'm going to put it back on. Reason for that is so she don't trip over her underwear while walking to the damn toilet. Which if she's in the living room, she's away from the toilet and has to walk there, right? For example. Like I'm making up in the story anyway. And I know I would have to do that too. Another thing, as if I was to take a shower with her, I know I showered with my mom and it didn't bother me, but I don't know if it would bother her to take a shower with me, right? So I would have to see if she would be okay with me on nudity, right? So I would at least undress and redress to see if she's got the rule with me on nudity to take a shower with me, right? But I still wouldn't have sex with her or think of it sexually or masturbate to her or anything like that either. That would be a lewd thing to do in front of your stepdaughter if it wasn't done for a certain other reason. Do you see what I mean, right? We're talking about the law and what you can and cannot do with a child, and what is legal and illegal. Yeah. And did I break the law if I were to do these things? No. Because this is the worst I can think I would do as well if she was suddenly coming there to me. I had to figure out what was going on. But guess what? None of it is a crime. And, you can take a shower with a girl's stepdaughter or a boy's stepdaughter if it's just a shower. And I wouldn't treat her any different than Big Roddy treated me. He never tried to rape me or have sex with me or stuff like that, right? Even though they might have been doing little things, they're things, right? As recreational stuff. That's all I'm going to say about it. Everybody goes through that in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Who cares? Get over it. Though it's experimenting with the drugs. Right? We all do that to the point. We do that too, right? And either you try it and you like it, or you try it and you don't. You don't do it again. That's your choice. That's your choice. Or you don't try it at all, like me. I don't try it at all, right? I don't even worry about it. If it's something considered illegal, I don't worry about it, right? Now, I don't judge you if you do it or don't. But you know the law does, right? So you got to live according to the law of the land, which is what Peter means when you have a government ruling over you, right? You get to play by the rules. Why do you think I emphasize I could be with a 16-year-old but not a 15-year-old, but I don't try to sleep with either one because I'm 51? Though I could, legally. If that's the age of consent. That's what the law says in Georgia, right? But it don't mean I'm going to go after a 16-year-old. It don't mean I wouldn't talk to a 16-year-old as a customer-client relationship. Or even Kelly at the damn Chinatown, who's a waitress who told me she didn't have a boyfriend, but that she also didn't tell me she had a husband instead, right? But I was still not eating out there because of her. I'm eating out there because I like Chinese food. And it's right down the road, and it's convenient, and it's a buffet, and it was only like $5 or so when we started, and I would tip her at least $1. Why? Because 20% of $5 is $1, idiot. Guess what $10 is? $2. 20 is divided by 10. You know what I mean? In percentage, $10, which is really, all right, when you think about it. How much is it? 10,000 pennies. So $2 is what? 200 pennies. 200 pennies. 200 pennies divided by 10,000 pennies is 20%. Mm-hmm. Now, also, when the price goes up, I tip $2 if it goes over 5. Automatically. Exactly. And I always tip my waitress because I don't know what kind of money she gets working there. I heard they get paid slave